Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Deborah. Today I'm going to be challenging myself to make a project that has been made by Erica Arndt. I will link her video below so you can see the original. And my question is it really that easy? Because she makes it look pretty easy. So what I'm going to be making is a case for the knitting needles. So this is the one where you have the short needles and the cord. Now, I don't knit. I used to knit. I know how, but I don't knit anymore. But I have a cousin in the UK who knits, and I thought it might be nice to make something and send it to her. So I've selected my fabrics. This is my outer fabric here, and this is going to be the lining fabric for the pocket. And I've also got a nice bright orange zip. So the first part I'm doing is to put the two small pieces on the zip, one on either side, which I've got here, and I'm going to go and sew those now, and then I'll attach the second part. I've done that first bit. I've sewn the thing onto the zipper. I'm a bit away from the teeth, but I actually don't mind that because you'll see a bit more of the zipper. And now I'm just going to press it and then do some top stitching along here to hold it in place. So here's my piece with the top stitch. My zipper is longer than it needs to be, but I'm going to pull that back now so that I don't get it in the wrong place. Now I'm going to put this in here. So I've got the right side of my fabric and I'm laying my zipper down to the wrong side, or right sides together, and then I'm going to put this piece of lining fabric on top like that. I think that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to sew that. So this piece I'm making is basically a pocket for the outside. So you'll be able to unzip it and have a little pocket to put things in on the outside. Now I don't have a pattern. I'm simply going on what Erica has on her YouTube channel because I figured that I could make it. Maybe not as good as hers, but I'm challenging myself today. So what I've done now is I've just tacked my zipper in place, making sure that my zipper pull is between the tack marks. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to close the zipper. And you can see that it's all gone a little bit wonky. It's not quite as neat as Erica's was, but that's okay because what I'm going to do now is just trim it down. So it may be a little bit tinier than hers, not by much though. So I've just got to cut through that zip, which is always a little hard to cut through your zipper. That looks okay. This fabric I'm using is like quite a heavy cloth fabric, so it is fraying a little bit. And I just wanted to check off on this side as well. I've got all that mess out of the way now. So that's going to be the outside. I want to put some ribbon. So I found some Moda ribbon. This came from a jelly roll. I think it's possibly going to be big enough. I'd like to use it, which is why I've got it out. I just don't know if it's going to be big enough. What I might do is actually do two, although that's going to be massive. But if I get two of these, I can stitch them together. So Erica recommends that you put it at about the halfway point. So I'm going to put it here. I'll just make a mark with a pin. And it's roughly in the center. I'm just eyeballing that. I just have to grab another one of the ribbons and iron it. So here is the other piece of ribbon. And to do this, I think I'm just going to turn that over a couple of times. So I've got reasonably good edge on there. Nice hidden edge. Sew it on there and then sew the other one on top of it. When I do that, I'm going to make sure that the rulers are both going the same way so it doesn't look weird to have one of the ruler pieces on this side and one on the other. I'll pin this one and then I'll do the other at the machine. So there you go, and I even tried to make it so that it was continuous. I'm a tiny bit out, I'm about 1/4 of an inch out, but I think it'll be fine. And now it's nice and long. I don't have to worry about it being too short. So the next step is to sew the other pieces on. So let's just put these together. Now I think I'm missing a piece. I have my batting and I have my inner pocket, which is this fabric here. I'm just going to lift that up. Now when you open the pocket from this side, that's the fabric that you'll see on the inside. I'll just turn that down, but it seems like I'm missing the piece that goes on here, so I have to go and find something to put on there. I've got my final inner pocket, which is these chickens, which I need to sew together. Now when I'm sewing these together, because it's directional, I'm going to turn it up like that so that the chooks are facing the same way. It probably doesn't matter because you're not going to see much of the inner chook, but just in case. And then I'm going to just sew the ends. So the ends I want to sew, because this is a square, I have to be careful, are these ends here, not these. They'll get caught when I do the binding around the outside. So I do need to sew these ends. So I'll just put a pin so I remember that's the end I need to sew, and the other end as well. And I also need another piece for the outer pocket, which I think is about 11.5 or something. Doesn't matter, you can make it whatever you want. Let's see, 11, yeah, 11.5 looks pretty good. So I think that's what I'm going to do, that one. So I'll go and find fabric and do that. Now I want these to be super crisp because that's the edge. So what I've done, as you can see, is I've just ironed them flat like that to start with. And then when I pick it up, I can then get a really nice edge on there and top stitch. I'll just iron it again first and top stitch it so my edges are really crisp. Here it is, all top stitch. Now I'm going to choose the side that I like the best. Let me see. I think I like this side. It's got 5 chooks on it. So that's going to be my outer piece for the pockets. And let's see, I've got my front piece with the ribbon on it, which is here. And I've got my lining piece, which is here. Oh, that's got to go down there. So it's, you can see when you open the pocket, you'll see the front side of the fabric. And then my piece of batting, and then the piece that I just cut, which will go here. Now, yes, it's a bit wonky on the edge. I'll fix that fine when I sew it. I want to make sure the pocket is at the top of the directional print. So that's the directional print, so that's correct. Needs another press. So here's this piece. That's going to be the inside, and I'm going to keep it up the same way because you'll actually see in there. So when you put your stuff in, it'll be like that. I think that'll be fine. Okay, and then I'll put this piece on top. So this piece goes, let's see, yeah, that's right. Oh, I haven't top stitched. I have to top stitch this. And then this piece goes on top like that. I need to find the halfway point of these two, so I will do that so I can lay them exactly into the center. So to do that, I've just ironed them in half, which is what Erica says to do. Now I need to make sure everything's up the right way. So this one will be the top, and then my chooks are going here like this, and then I'm going to sew down the center, and then I'm going to make some channels so that you've got somewhere to put your needles in. So this is my friction pen, and I'm just going to start from the edge. I might do like 1.5 from the edge. So, and this will come off when I iron, and then 1 inch. And do 1 inch along here. I've never used this pen before, I only bought it yesterday. Hopefully it'll come off when I do the ironing. That's pretty magic. All my lines are gone. I've just sewn them down, and I've made sure that I've double stitched at the top so when she's putting needles in, that's not going to rip. I still haven't top stitched that, so I have to go and do that now. And now I want some on the other side. So on this side, I think I'm just going to try, maybe I'll do 1 inch, although there won't be much left when that happens. So I'm going to do 1.5 inches here, and I'm going to go 1.5 inches again, just to mix it up a little bit. So I don't know what size the needles are or anything like that, but hopefully there'll be enough, or she can just use it for whatever she's got. an inch and an inch on this side too. I'll sew that now, and then we're nearly ready to put it together. Okay, so that's the other piece, and then this is the next piece. I need to do this, put this on here, and take her advice and come up 1.5 inches from the bottom and have that sitting there. And then I need to get some binding and bind around it. So I'll just, I haven't got a clip, I'll just pin that so I know where I'm going. Now also, this is a little bit wider, so I might just chop that bit off first. I'm not sure why it's a bit wider. I've clearly cut it a bit wonky. Better to be too wide and having to trim it than not wide enough though. So about 1.5 inches, about right. Because when I'm binding this, I have to be careful that I don't catch the ribbon. So I'm going to have to keep moving that bit out of the way. And then it'll roll up, and hopefully it'll look a bit like hers looks. Alright, I've finished it, and I've just remembered I forgot to put the needle holder on. So I'm hoping that I can just go back and do that. Is it as good as Erica's? No, it's not. Does it work? Well, yes. Let's see. Oh, that's the zipper, so that must come up like that and down like that. And then it gets tied up like this. There you go. Does the pocket work? Yes, it does. There's a little pocket in there. But as I said, I've just forgotten to put the needle holder on. I'm wondering if I can put that on now. I should be able to. I just need some batting, which I've got here. And I need to cut a little piece of it. Let's see. About this much. I'm going to fold it like that so it's a bit thicker, and I can put it on there. The pockets here work. Actually, they go right through. I don't know why you'd want that. Maybe I'll sew that down here as well. I may have been meant to do that, but I'm going to go and do that as well. So I'm just going to sew this pocket little needle holder on here, and then I'm also going to sew in the middle so that my pockets don't go all the way through, which that one is at the moment. And is it square? Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's okay. All right, let me finish that and I'll be finished. All right, here's my finished article. Now my pockets don't go all the way through. I've added my needle holder. I don't have any knitting needles to put in it to show you, but if I wrap it up, you'll see that it will tie up and there'll be plenty of room left for a bow. In fact, it's probably way too long, but I'll leave it on there. She can cut it down if she wants to. And I will trim that edge just to a point, and this one as well, just to a point. So at least it looks a bit nicer. And there you go. Not as good as Erica's, but look, I made it. And I'm sure she'll appreciate it because I made it. So I'm glad I'm finished. I won't be making another one, I can tell you that much. It's a bit too fiddly for me. I prefer things that I can do much quicker than what this took me. But anyway, it's fine. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. This is Deborah. Cheers.